For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, I finally caved in. It was 10 p.m. I'm wondering what to watch. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch Iron Man 3. Because there's only two MCU movies that I have not seen, Iron Man 3 and Eternals. And then Snow White pops up on Disney Plus. And I'm like, you know what? Sure. I did a video talking about Snow Not So White a while ago. It probably honestly wasn't that long after the trailer came out. But it was like 40 minutes, and it was basically just me, essentially me being a part of this hate train because, while I never had this like deep connection to Snow White like I did with like The Lion King or Tarzan, I was still quite a fan of the original Snow White just because it is such a simple story and it's just nice to just watch. It's not overly complicated. There's not too many characters. It's nice to watch, which, movies nowadays need to remember that. Not everything needs to be like this, oh my, this like this cinematic spectacle or like this Oscar worthy, best picture, worthy film. Just let it be enjoyable. So this is a movie that I honestly didn't think I was ever gonna watch. If I did, it would probably be in a couple years. But I sat through it, and after being on the hate train for this movie for so long, and I did expect it to be absolutely awful, it is bad, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And I know that's not really a defense, being like, yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. That doesn't mean it's great. It doesn't mean it's great at all. But it is it's like it's just there. That really, I think this is definitely probably the weakest Disney live action remake, or at least from the ones that come to mind. There were a lot of things here that were just added just for the sake of, and yet the movie still doesn't really feel like it had much substance to it because it sort of felt like a mishmash of different projects. And I know that's what it technically is because Disney had an idea and then Peter Dinklage opened his big mouth and then they had to change that. And but even like apart from that, it still feels like a Frankenstein project of just these weird of all these little things. Like there's certain things, like taken from like bits of dialogue from like Beauty and the Beast. Then obviously, you have things on the original Snow White, which, yes, there should be. But the thing is, when you look at the scenes from the original Snow White, the iconic scenes, like obviously her taking the bite of the apple and being revived and things like that, everything in between just sort of feels like fluff. It doesn't feel like it has much substance to it. But before I get to the story qualms, let me just talk about the characters. Starting off with with Rachel Zegler as Snow White. Look, um, I've been told that I don't I tend to be a very blunt person where I describe things, which for YouTube is not very good because people are very sensitive nowadays. But I'm just gonna say it flat. I don't like Rachel Zegler. I know the internet has, obviously their hate for her, but even just saying it, people will just attack you. So I will say it now. I don't like Rachel Zegler. I don't like how snarky and like what a smartass she seems to be in all the interviews. And the way she acts like she made the movie, like she was a part of it. She goes, they assume it's a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. And like, no, you didn't cast the guy. The people behind the casting cast him. Okay, don't act like you are a part of it. But putting my disdain for her aside, her voice is amazing. And I can say that because obviously I mean I'm a tough person to impress with singing, which is ironic considering I can't sing for shit. Although if you give me to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll drop a cover of a song. I won't tell you what song, but it'll be a song. But yeah, I actually really liked her voice, especially the song I think it was Waiting on a Wish. It's like the first or second one that she sings. Really, really good. Fantastic voice. Absolutely amazing. Although I didn't really like her physical performance, she sort of felt very wooden and like she didn't know what to do with her hands and her body. So like she'll be singing and she'll be expressing, but like her body will just be standing still like she's being electrocuted. It looked really, really strange. And I don't know, but apart from that, her I still I don't understand what moron thought it would be a good idea to cast a non-white person as Snow White. I'm not getting into this again. I spoke on it for about 40 minutes last time, so I'm not going to speak on it now. But still, illogical decision. Absolutely illogical. That's all I can say. As far as acting goes, I mean, she didn't really. To be fair, she didn't have the best script to work with, so I can't really determine her capability as an actress. But it didn't seem amazing. Didn't really seem fantastic. The dwarves could just be that I'm used to them. I'm used to seeing it now, but they didn't look as like terrible as they did in the trailer. They probably haven't changed the CGI at all. They haven't improved it at all, I don't think. But they didn't look as horrific and nightmare-inducing as they did in the trailer. But again, I think it's just because I'm used to seeing them now. They actually provided for some, decent comedy. I quite like Grumpy. Grumpy and Dopey were definitely the standouts in my opinion. Um, I don't know. I quite like Dopey. But yeah, they were okay. They're in the movie. Like they get. I mean, they don't really do much, and they're not really meant to do much, to be fair. And especially when it comes to that final act where they enter the castle and they do jack shit, and then they stand there in like the entrance at the entrance of the castle, and it's meant to be this like, oh, big awesome moment, when in reality they did absolutely nothing to help. They did nothing. Then there's the other movie that this was merged with, which was involving the bandits. Apart from the main guy, Jonathan, I only remember his name because I just finished the movie about 5 minutes ago. He he's there. And I honestly spent the entire time just waiting for him and Snow White to kiss, because Rachel Zegler did not want this to be a love story. She's like, this isn't a love story. This is about her being the girl that she knows she can be. She can be a leader. She doesn't need a man. So I spent the whole time just waiting. I was like, please, please kiss. And then the moment they kissed, I was like, yeah, up yours, Zegler. I was so freaking happy, dude. But I mean, the rest of the bandits don't really matter much. They're just background characters. Then, the songs. As I said, Waiting on a Wish, I believe it's called. That was good. Um, Gal Gadot's Gal Gadot's song, which I actually forgot to talk about her, which I think shows just how much, yeah, how interesting she was. She was pretty bad as the Evil Queen. The design, her costume was god awful. Her acting, I don't think I need to elaborate on. That was really painful to sit through. But her song, I don't know what it's called, but her one song was mostly horrific. But for some odd reason, that last verse that she had was really good. I don't know what it was, but I really enjoyed that last verse because for some reason that part of the song, it felt more like a song and not a speech, and her voice was actually decent. So yeah, and that's it really. Apart from that, it was utter garbage. Even the way that her character dies, I thought it made zero sense. Especially when you hint at it. You fucking hint at it when she goes to the cottage to kill Snow White. You have the vulture look down on her, and even she looks up at the vulture. I'm like, see, because the vulture's gonna eat her later. No, no. Why would you not have the vultures eat her? That's what happened in the original. Oh my god, that's what happened in the original. Instead, here she breaks the mirror, which, by the way, that still made zero sense. She's confronted by Snow White, accepts that she's lost, and she runs into the castle like a little whining bitch. And Snow White just magically finds where the mirror is. I don't know how she knew that, but whatever. She just goes there. The evil queen breaks the mirror, and then all of a sudden, she dies. How? It was never ever hinted that the mirror is like the source of her life force or anything like that. She just dies. Okay, enough negativity. Get to some positives. Um, One that I feel like is, yeah, I may get flack for it, but hey ho, who cares? I probably said a million and one offensive things in this video already, and it's only been 10 minutes. I actually quite liked the very emotive, sort of cartoony look that the animals had. I know people don't like it. You know, they think it looks too silly, but I don't know. Look, I don't want to defend this movie any more than the next person, but I find it stupid that people complain about movies like the Lion King remake and Mufasa the Lion King not being like not having emotions on the animals. But when you finally have emotions on their faces, you complain about it. Cuz to me, that's like the spectrum, right? Is the Lion King 2019 is zero emotion. Snow White, you have all the emotion in their faces, and Mufasa the Lion King is sort of like a mix of the two, you know? So, I don't know. I don't really understand how people are complaining about that, but I don't know. I quite liked it. And honestly, I think the last positive I can give this movie is the fact that they did not bring the father back. Because I genuinely did think that they were going to reveal at the end that her father is alive, and thank God he is not. Because damn, that would have been really shit. But apart from that, it's just illogical things all over the place. They really like screw with time here because the huntsman who is sent to kill Snow White, which that made zero sense because in the original, he obviously is sent to kill her, and the queen tells him, "Bring back her heart in this," and she gives him the box, and he comes back, and obviously there's a pig heart in there. Okay, so still a heart. In this movie, this guy is so fucking dumb. It's an apple. He puts an apple in the fucking box. Like, brother, did you not think that she would at some point open the box? Why do you think she gave you the fucking box? Do you think. I'm joking, oh my god, it's so stupid. Do you think she just gave it to you just to give you like a fun little activity for yourself? Are you fucking dumb? What the hell? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And then back to what I was going to talk about. He's captured, in the dungeon. He's chained up. Jonathan, the bandit leader dude, is chained up, and they obviously have been pulling on their chains. And huntsman guy is like, "You've been at this for days." When in the movie, it's literally like the same day or like the next day at most. What do you mean it's been a few days? Like, we just skip a few days, I assume? That made zero sense. Then, they have the bright idea of pulling the chains together, pulling one chain together. And you're telling me it's been a few days and only now have you decided to try that? Another illogical thing, I don't know how many times I'm going to use that word, I'm so sorry, is after the huntsman like lets her go, she's running through the woods, and then there's like these red lights that just shine on her, which makes it doesn't look real. It literally just looks like someone is shining a red light through the trees. It looks terrible. It's dark all of a sudden, which I can sort of understand that because when she was picking the apples, it sort of looked like the sun was setting. So it's dark, and then all of a sudden when she finds the animals, it's daytime again. What the fuck? Well, not daytime, but oh my god. Oh my god, this makes no sense. The writers were on something with this. We're talking like Stephen King It level. Then you get to like the end of the movie when the evil queen is dead and everything, and then like everything is white. The houses are white, the fucking bridge is white, everyone's wearing white. There's more white in this image, in this final scene, than there is in the entirety of Disney remakes in current years. Okay, maybe that one went a bit too far. I do apologize. And just one last minor complaint. Well, not minor. For me, it was a big deal. Is I complained earlier about the Evil Queen's costume being like just terrible. That's because it's all black. But in her musical number, they give her the proper costume, and I was genuinely so freaking happy. I was so happy. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's the costume I've been waiting for. You know, the purple cape, like every all the purple. Really, the purple is what I was excited for. She looked exactly, well, the costume at least looked exactly like it did in the original, and then it just never comes back. No, I'm honestly, I've probably got to stop talking about this now. And you know, the thing is, there's a million and one things that popped into my head while watching this movie that I was like, I got to talk about this in the review. But now, I just, I really don't care. Like, I just sort of want to get my initial thoughts out because my God, I don't know how Disney made this. Like, as I said, it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's not absolutely god awful, but it is bad. It's definitely it. I think I can comfortably say it is the worst live action Disney remake, at least from the ones I've seen, because you got some great ones. You know, you got Aladdin. You have the Jungle Book. You have Beauty and the Beast. Absolutely amazing ones. Then you get crap like this. They really just overcomplicated the Snow White story for no reason because you added so much into this movie and it all just felt like nothing. So it sort of ultimately amounted to just you making the movie worse. So I don't really know where I was going with that, but I think you understood what I was trying to say. Look, man, maybe if they casted someone hotter as Snow White, maybe I would have been happy. So overall, guys, it's bad. It is bad, but it's not as terrible as I thought it was going to be. There were like a few decent moments, but apart from that, the movie just feels like it's just trying to get through the runtime, which at the same time, it felt like it was dragging. There were so many unnecessary scenes, countless unnecessary characters. The writing made zero sense, and it just overall was like infinitely worse than the original. And that's insane considering the original is like 90 years old. It's 90. It's 90 or 91, and you can't freaking you can't improve upon it. I mean, you couldn't improve upon it anyway, but genuinely, this movie just tried to be too big for its boots, and it flopped miserably. But yeah, I mean, those are my overall thoughts on Snow Not So White, which really, I should stop calling it that because there are genuinely people who hear me say that and they actually do think that the movie is called Snow Not So White. So yeah, I mean, that's my review on the movie. It exists. Please let me know your thoughts on Snow White. Did you think that I was perhaps being a bit too positive on it? Or was I being too harsh on it? Although my favorite question, because hateness thrives on the internet, what was your least favorite thing about this movie? And I swear to God, if any of you say Rachel Zegler's voice, I'm gonna know you're trolling. Because, come on, man. I don't like the woman either, but her voice is fantastic. But yeah, please just let me know what you think on the movie, what do you think of the review, anything and everything, let me know down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.